Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TechGuy Podcast, episode number 32. This week we have a couple of new topics we are going to talk about, and yes, this episode is coming late due to some other reasons that I will be talking about the end of the podcast, a new announcement, kind of a new announcement regarding content that I'm going to announce in the end of this podcast. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about because we had another event this week, which is Meta, which was again just like last year was like we covered last year. This year again was a big step, a lot of big step I will say that we are going to cover with the Ray-Bans dis- display glasses, which are actually really good. At least what we saw on the event, and they are actually now consumer product, not just developer, or it's not in a development now like what they talk about last year. So now that is where we are going to talk about. Then we are also going to talk about some AI slop that is happening for last past week that I'm noticing, at least with Gemini new Nano Banana, what is happening. And I think people should be more aware of its bad applications, bad implementation, and bad actors who are going to use this basically. So those are there. Then we are going to talk about some new YouTube updates that YouTube Studio, for especially for creators who are watching, or if you just want to know what new creative stuff that is happening in the YouTube Studio. Then again, at last, as every week we are going to talk about, we are talking is weekly all updates regarding AI, and that's it. This is some of the couple of overview of the episode we are going to talk about in this 32nd episode of the Tech Guy podcast. So let's just get started. So let's talk about the aftermath. Basically, what happened. Last week we talked about majorly about Apple Intelligence, and yeah, I talk about how disappointment about what actually Apple did really good, and the future looks kind of an like we talked about like what is Apple planning to do basically in the next couple of few years, which is again like I predicted last episode, like why Apple is taking two steps back and double down on their what they are actually good at. The hardware stuff, the cameras, the design language. Apple is good at that, so they double down on those stuff rather than going into AI, Apple Intelligence that they like over promised last year. So they did not over promise, but couple of things people were waiting, even I was waiting for. First of all, I was waiting for Apple's Air, some kind of battery test, or even Apple's first impression how Air looks. And majority of the people that I have looked on the internet, people talked about, people who have held Apple new Air, they talk about, they don't talk about Apple Air 17, they talk about just Apple Air. So we don't know. So it's like just from the naming you can see how Apple is making it kind of an product just like what before was like Apple SE what was. So I think that is what Apple is planning to do with Air. If it works, I think personally they are going to continue the Apple Air. If it doesn't work, they are not going to continue it. It's just like what SE was for them, iPhone SE. And yeah, so let's see now the Air situation. Air, people talk about how one of the beautiful, like one of the good looking smartphones it is in terms of design. When you held it on your own hands, it is super lightweight, it is so slim. We'll be talking about its design and its toughness regarding how it will survive, just falling onto a concrete roads, or just slapping onto the wall, yeah, a lot of things, basic stuff that can happen in a regular day-to-day home while traveling here and there, just phone falling down from your tables. That has happened to me quite a while time with this 15 Pro, but it has survived really well. Now, generic everything Jerry Rick, basically, if you know him, he does testing of specifically hardware for the phones. He tests basically seven or nine types of sharpness in terms of testing how screen is. Basically, if you like, he test basic tests that at least these are some basic tests that in terms of hardware the phones, especially the premium ones, should survive ultimately. So he is kind of an known for majorly that, but I love his channel. I am watching for a couple of years right now, his channel right now. He also shows what's inside on a phone, a lot of, he's more of a hardware guy, who breaks stuff. So people are waiting for iPhone Air to get in his hands to take and check the break test, basically the bend test he does, and he did. And as we have seen and people talk about while bending the new Apple Air, people have talked about, if even if you bend it, it will bend a little wide, a little bit, but it will retain its form factor again well. And that's what actually happened with the Jerry. He did really apply a insane force, like he does it every other phones, try to bend test, and it actually survived, the bend test, and the screen was still working. Now he also did another test, which is again machine test, which focusing on a certain area sharply to bend a phone, like how much weight the phone can take. And now surprisingly, it is 128 kgs of force to break the phone. Now, till to that specific one point. Now, obviously, whenever on day-to-day basis, it's not a normal occasion. Even if you are 128 kilos, kind of, and or multiple people sit on your phone, it is not just going to break it, because the pressure is going to apply all over the phone surface. So it's like not easy. Like he talked about in the video how he just applied the pressure on a one point, that's why it broke. And even after breaking, the display was still on, surprisingly. So I think the quality of Air is no doubt actually really good. Same thing what happened to Samsung Edge. Now, also we are gonna I'm going to talk about the Tom's Guide interview when he did with the Apple's executive Josh and John. And in that interview, one of the couple of funniest things were there that he talked about, Josh, the marketing guy. He talked about how their primary focus for the cameras is they want to create like retain the memories with those cameras, so they look photos in terms of memories. That's how where they're going on in terms of what they feel like how AI is going to interfere with the camera taking, and that's why I think they are really trying to focus not to give too much kind of an features, like they want to nail the marketing also, and their stance regarding the what photos are actually. So I think ultimately that he also talked about how Samsung, like he obviously didn't mention Samsung, but he talked about how Samsung just like other competitors, quote unquote, use moon, like the moon controversy, what happened with the Samsung, it was just rendered like kind of an, because we always see one side of the moon, it was kind of an pre-programmed stuff. Even if it was not a clear picture of the moon, it's, what it is like. So that he talked about when they talked about zoom actually, so that's there were some shots to their competitors too, because he talked about in terms of camera, they don't even think the competitors are even close to them what they do in terms of video, which is actually fair. Videos in terms of iPhones are insanely good. They are actually really good in terms of whatever I have seen in terms of test, whatever the people do, reviewers do, they actually talk about how the tests are really good of the videos of iPhone 7, iPhones, newer iPhones. So here they are improving little by little. So that was there. I will link down both of the interviews by Josh, and there was another, I don't know his name, but his channel name is Tech Radar. So I will both link down both the links of their interviews. You should go check it out. They also, there one of the funniest things happened in that interview or in Tom's Guide was Josh just throws the phone towards them. You can check just like throws the phone and tells them to bend them, and the phone actually slams on the table so hard, the iPhone Air. I was like, oh my god, is there any scratches? But no, it was actually kind of, and surprisingly they did a bend test, and even in that video they talked about like whenever they bend it, it actually bends kind of, and like how it bends and retains its position, like just like what happened with the, I think, iPhone 7, as far as I remember. I hope I'm not wrong, but those were some couple of things. There were again no talk about Apple Intelligence from them, not at all. They did talk about some AI compute in the end of that podcast too. Sorry, end of that interview too. But they talked about much more about neural computing in the chips they are developing. So basically, from iPhone 15 Pro, every other chips they are just making the hardware capable of doing computing stuff for AI, but the AI is not there. So basically, the hardware is right up to there. You can see, they even talked about the neural engines, how in terms of GPU cores they are making progress there. But the AI implementation, Apple Intelligence, is still not there, and they talk about that kind of and much more in terms of how they are making sure that they are up to the AI compute things. So not much of a big talk again about AI. We hope we, like I said in the last episode too, we get much more information. We will get another couple of events from Apple in next 1 or 2 months, after in December, or most probably in terms of when Samsung also does event with their S26 Ultras. So we will check out then what they will be announcing with the new MacBook and Air. Sorry, not Air. MacBook and iPads most probably, and iMacs too. If they are not abandoning it, I hope. So yeah, that's it. I think I will say for the aftermath of the event for now. If I get any kind of updates from any kind of sources, from articles like Verge, Bloomberg, everything, any other kind of update, we will be talking about once a week from here. But that was all from the iPhone 17 this year's event, at least. So yeah, let's move on to another event that happened this week, which is again kind of a big thing, I will say. A lot of people are talking about it, and it is again insanely good product by Meta, which is the launch in the Meta Connect event, which is Ray-Ban display glasses. They are calling it Ray-Ban display basically. So before going into the good part, the good product, they did a couple of announcement before that. So Mark, when the event started, it is again just like what Google does. Like try wants to do opposite what Apple does, to do live event, which is again kind of an, I will say, I'm like, you might have seen how demos fail in those events and people talk about how bad it was, but I think in when it comes to live event, the point is that to show the demos live here and there. But yeah, we will talk about demos. But when the event started, Mark Entry was wearing those Ray-Ban display glasses, interacts with it, and you can see how it works, but he don't talk about it much later. So the first word he says, the first line, I think is important towards what Meta's marketing strategy here is. He talk about is AI needs to be serve humans and automate everything. So basically, this is much more important. Basically, the human touch is much more important. What we do, interactions with the world, at least. And he talked about how other competitors are trying to automate the world, even in the personal super intelligence. In the blog he posted, he talked about how everyone is trying to automate, no one is trying to personalize. Now in that, when I was explaining that super intelligent personal super intelligence, I didn't quite get it. But with the products of Metas, you can see what they're trying to do. The interaction kind of a thing, not blending you into a technology, but blending reality towards in terms of technology, I think. But still, it's kind of an on the surface when it comes to marketing strategy of Meta. They are trying to connect human presence. That is what they are talking. So, couple of important updates. He talked about the that are Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which will be starting at $379. These are not the glasses that you are seeing, probably those display glasses. These are just basic glasses that have a camera here and just like does the work. Like you can ask Meta and it can record for you here and there. Now 3K video is available on that. Live audio amplify is also available on these glasses. So basically whenever you are talking, you just say to the Meta glasses, hey Meta, amplify audio, and it will amplify the audio of the person in front of you in a busy place, capture it and amplify loudly in your ears. I think it can be definitely helpful, but for the people who don't basically have a difficulty also in terms of hearing, but also have kind of gets annoyed whenever they are in a loud space. So yeah, it is there. Live audio, that is actually good. Then live AI demo. So live AI demo is one of the another feature that they did a demo live. So live AI is basically is what it sounds like. So basically whatever you see is whatever the AI is seeing. Now what Meta's idea is here is basically whatever you are going to see and interact is whatever the glasses will be doing. So basically, let's say you are having a meeting, let's say you are having a basic casual conversation with someone, the glasses will be hearing and listening and looking 24/7. Basically the idea is here basically throughout the time you are wearing and ask it to do live AI. Now again, now it will understand the surrounding, and whenever you ask the question 5 minutes later or even ask something later onwards, it will just give you answers regarding whatever you saw. So it's basically the idea of what we have seen in the films where you put on those glasses where the AI knows whatever you are doing and just does the work for you, or basically whatever the work and the surrounding that is happening gets compute in that and basically gives you answers depending whatever you ask around questions regarding it. I think the best example is what Iron Man's Jarvis was or Friday was. Basically, what we have seen in those kind of movies, or yeah, those are the best examples I can give right now, remember. So that was the live demo they did, but which completely failed, which you might have seen it in the videos or real shorts basically here and there. But they did give us a video later too. But these were some updates regarding the base kind of an one basic AI spectacle glasses that which is they are doing for like third generation. This is there now. Then we have another update. A new kind of glasses is called by new collaboration by Oakley Meta Vanguard glasses, which are $499, means $500 goggles, which are again sports goggle. People most probably use it, and they have now integrated it with AI, which is again I can feel like the way they commercialize, which way they did the marketing, which definitely helps in terms of which definitely heavily marketed towards sports who are doing action sequences, like basically shooting POVs here and there. The whole marketing towards it was for them only, because those glasses are specifically wear by sports people, by runners, by athletes, most probably. So that was the marketing strategy by them, and those glasses actually looks good. If you don't want any kind of, I will say, AI in it, you can just even buy regularly from the Oakley. Oh my god, how do you pronounce that? But yeah, you have wide angle, better battery in that, slow motion and hyperlapse is available in those glasses. it is IP67, which again we saw in one of the commercial that it got literally drowned in that commercial, and it was still fine recording. Yeah, so there's was there. I have also partnered with Garmin and Strava, getting overlay stats on videos, basically whatever you are making. So if you use Garmin watches or even Strava on your phone, it will automatically stitch the video and the overlay of the stats in one video for you, and you can just get it afterwards. So basically what it does is, basically whenever you are recording, it also connects with the Strava and Garmin app, and the whole base, you just like, it's ultimately you don't have to stitch it yourself. They can do it does it itself on its own if you want it. I think, again, like I said, whole marketing towards people who are athletes or into in terms of sports, in terms of running kind of, and people who are interested in those kind of stuff, and in terms of content creation, like, again, Meta glasses are one of the most few really good in terms of POV shots here. Like I said, like those, like, POV shots are one of the most not just difficult, I will say, but difficult to get those kind of shots. And when you have those kind of accessories, like a lot of people use helmets and GoPros, a lot of people use those 360s, a lot of people use now Meta glasses too, which is again better and simpler to record, so that is there. So I think that was it for both base glasses and the Oakley Vanguard glasses. Now coming towards the best part about the whole event and the whole people what are talking about, which is Ray-Ban display, Meta Ray-Ban display. Okay, and it is not just glasses. It comes with neural band, which will be strapped in your hand wherever you want, left and right both. And it is $799, basically $800, which is again a lot. But I think, again, what it is providing as first gen, again, good. I don't know how many people will buy it for $800, but it's again full consumer product. They are hitting what Apple tried to do. And one thing that you know Mark is, now when Apple got into the whole vision, those reality glasses, and saw the price, he was so one of the happiest person, I will say, in the world, because is like, he was waiting for Apple to announce Vision Pro, to get Vision Pro and compare it to his what they are doing with the Meta Quest. And he actually did and made a video too, and talked about how good Meta Quest money price and actually good it was. Now same thing is happening here. Like, now $800 might not seem too much for some people, because Apple's Vision Pro is like $3,500, which is, again, like I said, a whole different kind of a beast is that Vision Pro. But still, the first gen is $800, as you can see. Now again, Mark will try to do as much as best his work to make competition with Apple in terms of vision glasses. In future, Apple will announce or not, we don't know, but to make it as much as lower price as possible, because he knows that Google is also working on it with Google XR, and this year they talked about it too. And the thing is, Google is not just one of those companies who so many things on just behind the scenes, basically. So basically, Google is one, like I talked about before too, is one of those companies to work on the behind the scenes a lot on a certain technology, and will not reveal at all until someone does it. That is what happened with the AI stuff. Like, Google was like, we are building AI for like the last decade and so, and they launched their AI, which is back in those days, last year it was called Bard. Now they call it Gemini. But you know, Google launched so fast their AI and talked about how they are working it. So I at that time I was like, if you are working on this kind of AI, why didn't you even launch it? And Google always, I feel like, plays safe. They are kind of a company. Same thing happened this year too when Meta released their AXR Orion glasses last year. We talked about it, how insane it was, but it was again a developer's product. It was not launched as a consumer product to people. It still was under development what Meta was talking. And then this year we got in Google event what is called, we call Google XR glasses. And again, Samsung even announced their Project Mohan, which is, I think I have predicted, like I think we talked about in the last couple of episodes, like the event is going to be next 1 or 2 months in November, that we will see the Samsung's new XR headsets. So a lot of people are jumping onto it. And now when Mark saw Google is also working on something XR glasses, which is again so much similar to what they are working here now in terms of technology. And we know that companies work so much things on behind. It's like you don't know when they will just second they will launch something that, and they will say they are working it for decades, because they do see things a lot of from behind the scenes. So that's there. Now the Ray-Ban Meta glasses this year. Now talking about Meta Ray-Ban glasses, which were Meta Rayban Display. Again, a confusing name. I don't know why it is called that. But it's again $800. Now, how it is works. So basically, it works in two ways. Basically, it works in two devices. One is with your glasses, and one is with the neural band, which looks like a Whoop band, if you know it. So you have to wear it on your hand, and it's neural, like what Apple does when it comes to interaction with the device. So basically, now it is again what Apple's, if you have seen Apple Vision Pro, how it works in terms of transparency, or the XR, the reality, that blends in the display. Same thing it is happening with the glasses now. How they are again this good this year, which is again not a surprising way, like I talked about. A lot of the companies work on behind the scenes, like how last year they launched Orion, and they had to launch this year basically the new these displays in the new competition, because it's like I said, everyone just pushes one another people, like I said, what in terms of competition. So how it works is basically with the help of that neural band, you can control and basically do a lot of things, like controlling the stuff, like the windows in front of you, like the settings in front of you, basically changing the volume. Mark did a lot of stuff, like clicking stuff. Typing was one of the most, I will say, insane thing. I think I will give you. I think that was the most impressive part for me, because one of the thing when it comes to typing on those kind of glasses, even on the Quest or Vision, is how good it is. Now on basically the Vision Quest, it is like a literal keyboard in front of you that you can type it. Now here you have to write it. So basically, when you have connected your Ray-Ban glass, like that whole neural band in the hand, you can type one or two way. You can voice it. You can basically voice your like voice note. Is you can just type it on a surface basically, and it will work. So basically, if you want to type I will come later or will talk later, you just have to write it on a surface that is your hands on, and it will type it, which is again insane. I will also here link down the video by Verge. She did an amazing job of explaining stuff, how it works. And in that video you can see that she even does the hand movements, that is scrolling and swiping up here and there from in front of your from front of the glasses, behind the even if your hands are down here, you can do it. It keeps up with the movements there. Even if the movements of the hands are not in front, not in your vision too, like from doing it from behind like this, it can still detect. So basically what that means is that the neural band is actually worth something and doing it. That video I will link down in the description, which is by Verge. Again, a lot of good video. Say she even in the video talks about when like small things like walking up directly looking into the sun. When you will the display work when you will look directly into the sun, which is obvious it will not work. The sun's rays are too much, but the display is too much high resolution. It's high resolution and also high luminous, like it's 5000 milliamp, like 5000 the display's brightness is. So it is again a quite a great display which works really well. So kind of an like these small things which were kind of an unbelievable couple of years ago is what Meta is providing is in the consumer product now. Basically it is product that you can buy it. That is what I think one of the biggest step that they take this year ultimately, and this is the biggest talk they are going to have. A lot of people are talking about just this product, but I will say a lot of I am just excited to use that Oakley glasses, fuck, sorry, I don't know how this pronounced, but yeah, I'm excited for those glasses and a lot of other two things too. One of the thing is happening right now for past couple of years, and from it started with MetaQuest, and even before that, but MetaQuest kind of did a really well product. You know, like VR glasses are for here, like exist for years now, but now it is getting more commercialized with the major giants companies are entering it, and now with the last year Vision Pro entering it, it is again getting much more big. You know, so what is happening now is the shift in terms of a lot of things in a lot of way, in terms of content, watching movies, watching series, shows, basically television is going to be a different experience. You know, in the event, in the Meta Quest, sorry, Meta Connect event, they brought James Cameron, the director of Avatar, if you don't know him, and also one of my favorite series, Terminator. So he and they talked about the consumption and the way content will be evolving, and the way to see the depending upon what kind of content you can expect. And we are seeing it for like past 1 or 2 year, and last couple of months we have seen some insane stuff. You know, the what they call it, the orb, the globe, you know, that is in Las Vegas, which has insane display, which is 360 glass, and inside an insane display, and how they are showing now movies, experience movies in 4DX in a whole new different world. That is again a new kind of experience for people watching movies, and for directors, you know, or filmmakers to give much more thought into the experience, you know, going to those kind of experience, like what we always talk about, how theaters were different from home theaters. You know, how even though we have good sound system and even good big display, some of the films are no match near watching it on those theaters. You know, in IMAX, people talk about, you know, people are talking much more about IMAX now because it gives totally new experience that you can never experience in your home with those sound system, with those displays basically. Now same thing is going to happen, I think, for next couple of years. The content shifting in terms of making movies is always changing, but I think making it towards YouTube, making it towards television, or you know, those kind of stuff, because Meta also announced one of the thing is that uh, Meta Horizon, basically they launched in that event too, where they talk about where they gave access for the people who wants to watch shows, movies in basically the with the hell in those glasses basically. Now, here is the thing: what is happening right now with the past 1 or 2 years with Vision, Meta, and now with those glasses is shift of watching content in different formats. So just like how phones and TVs and theaters, now Meta Quest, these glasses display, even I will say Vision Pros, a new form of consuming content. Now these are not again like I will say new kind of uh like will get again accessible to everyone, because they are still really hard to get, like in terms of money wise. It is really hard bargain. Like I don't want people to go and say you can just go and buy $800 those glasses and you will have good time. No, they are just first gen. A lot of people will not buy it, even just like what happened to Vision Pro. But what will happen in future is the shift which is definitely happening and will happen in terms of content consuming. Now in those days there are a lot of companies: Google with their glasses, Samsung with their Project Mohan, with their own meta like own headsets, Apple is there, and now Meta. These are like a kind of giants those are working on. uh, Same thing will happen in terms of content. Movies will evolve just like what happened with when 3D space was happening. With James Cameron introducing and defining the movie experience. Defining it. Pushing every damn decade, I will say. Like in the first Avatar and the second Avatar has immense in terms of feel of the movie, in terms of cameras of the movies, how he's kind of an inventor. He's kind of an has his whole company who helps and makes stuff. Basically, people who wants to shoot in, like in the second part, if you have saw out there how it was, in terms of water sequences, which was again shot in real water, which was impossible if in 2008 9 for him to do that, just to do make it second. That's why he took so damn years, not for the story but for the experience. And that is what I think will be happening for years to come. A lot of companies will be investing in this stuff. I think IMAX, a lot of theater people will be investing in those stuff. A lot of companies we will be seeing investing on headsets, glasses. Now there are a lot of companies from China which are coming. Oculus, I think. I think now the shift is happening, and even the cash is getting burned by these big companies right now. They know where they are going, and I think it is one of those things where it will take time to implement. Couple of years, I will say. Like I have always said and always will be saying, which is again the adaptation of any other thing hard. Not all people have kind of an same adaptation rate that you think, like just because it is good, you know so we will be seeing a lot more of that. So yeah, in future we might see movies in Vision Pro headsets. Watching sports will be a totally different thing now. Watching sports in the stands, watching, I'm just imagining how I will be watching F1 in those. So I want more competition in it. What I am ultimately trying to say. you know Let us get a lot of companies into this stuff. If you are some kind of passionate about this kind of stuff, I think I will say, uh, you know I don't know, in future we will be reviewing these devices a lot, not right now. We have a lot of much more to talk about other stuff after the break here we will take now. Yeah, that's it. This is it. I think this is it for the Meta Connect event I will be talking right now. We will be talking more this week, again Friday probably, with more questions from you. What do you think about it? What you want me to talk about much more? So let's take a break, and after a break we will be talking about AI Slop, new YouTube updates, and weekly AI news. So yeah, welcome back. So let's talk about the new thing I'm talking about, the new AI Slop. Why I'm talking about the new is because it is spreading too much. That's why I said like, I needed a new headline for it. But yeah, um, if you know, like past two episodes, we talk about Nano Banana, how Nano Banana is so insanely good, and I talk about how good it is in terms of editing, recognition, the image, and the face, and whatever you are talking. So setting all those apart, now Nano Banana is free to use on Gemini, and a lot of people can use it, and now a lot of people are using it, and I don't think I feel good in the way direction. Again, I'm talking about this for like past year, but this is like now people are actually using it, and it is becoming real what we talk about 6 months ago. So now people are using to generate their AI image. So basically, what they give their faces, basically the image of themselves, and generate image whatever they want. So basically, if you want an image with yourself in a, let's say, in certain type of clothes, in certain type of angle, body, basically what it will do is generate image and slap a face on that body. That is how it works, and it is actually good. The recognition, like I have seen some images which are so good that you can't even see, or can't even you don't even you won't be able to say which is AI and which is not. Okay, it is emitting what they are asking, and it is so hard sometimes to see those images and know if it is even AI or not. First time I saw it, I was like, wow, what a good picture, and then I later found out that it was AI generated. So like I said, it is getting real now, the AI slow. So now you might be saying that what is the actual problem? Like, you don't think people should not edit? No, I think it's good. People are now getting hands-on there. Like I talk about in the even in the Google's event too, where they talk about Gemini photo editing in the Photos app. I praise that. I don't think that was a bad. Like I said, one of the things like I talk about in that is one of the best feature that people can now edit their own pictures whatever they like, you know. But the thing is the worst part that people are not seeing. So now imagine this is happening for years now. This is not the first time that is happening, but what is happening with the AI is it is getting much more accessible to people. It is getting much more easier for people to do this kind of stuff. And now, why it is bad? Let's talk about it. So now you might have seen people also making last couple of months ago when a lot of people made of videos, or even AI generated videos can be made from Gork, and now it was making some vulgar images of Taylor Swift, and she actually sued it and actually took action. We don't know what happened after that. I think they did some changes or not, but it still can make a Verge. I also made a video, uh, but another thing what is going to happen with this is what my fear is ultimately, that there will be no way to recognize what is real and fake. I'm not even talking about people editing their own picture, and I am seeing those picture and oh, it's AI and I'm feeling bad for it. No, people can edit their own photos like it is going for years. Do you know Photoshop? Photoshop, it started with all those things there. Like people can do anything they want with the Photoshops, do insane editing whatever they want here and there. Now Photoshop was just difficult to use for most of the people, and that's why it was getting requested for people who edit their own photos. Now it is getting easier for a lot of people to just edit their own photos. Now, what is going to happen? You see, if you are not on the internet, not much, or not, haven't got to the dark side, I will say, on the internet, is that there are deep fakes available on the internet. Like there is a whole website called deep fakes, which makes insane is that how many creators, how many say actors, actresses, their whole videos of deep fakes, vulgar videos are available. That is the, I think, base word I will use, the vulgar. The yeah, I'm not going over that and getting a strike from YouTube, but you know, that problem is already getting out of hand, and a lot of people can't even do anything. And when you see those kind of videos, you can see that is fake. But now with the AI, it is getting so real, and getting those kind of stuff on people's hand, giving them opportunity to do those kind of stuff, and I'm not talking about that extreme thing, with what deep sites are doing. I'm just talking about normal things. You can take your photo and another person, random person photo from a street, and just stitch it together, and you can make a great photo of each other, which are completely unrelated. That photo is not ultimately taken, that person you have taken photo of would never know you have taken photo of that person, and you are using it on your image generation. And it can be used so many bad ways. Like I said, blackmailing, cyberbullying will just grow up, kind of stuff. Internet is already out there making fake stuff and fake information. And now with this stuff, ordinary people, like people on day-to-day life, day-to-day general stuff, who are not on internet that much, but people can take their just one image and make a completely new photo of them that they don't even have taken. Like you can ask now and go to Gemini and ask the Gemini to make a picture, and you can just take as someone's random photo which is not even yours, and just generate an image for. So what I'm trying to say here, like yours identity, your photo can be used by any of the person now, and will be clicked and taken, and will be, and that person can generate whatever he wants, he or she wants. But and that is not a good thing, the people on, like, and that is not a good thing for you, the person who are watching from home, who is not a, and like, and I will say the creators, the influencers, even the actors, actress, those are not one will be getting hard time, because they are facing it for years now, you know and still will be. What will be happening right now with this kind of new stuff, with this new giving power, so many powerful tools on people's hands, and not restricting them from doing this, is because it is going to get worse then. Getting these powerful tools in people's hand and let them do whatever they want, stitching two completely different scenarios in one, stitching two persons that are completely unrelated and making their own new image, creating scenarios that help, that is going to create chaos. People who are bad, people who wants to bully, people who wants to blackmail, those stuff will increase a lot, and it is already happening on social media. Those kind of stuff, and now giving this powerful tool on people's hand, it's insane. One of the video that I saw a couple of, yesterday only, a creator called Dhruv Rat, he made a video. He has kind of, and he's AI, where all the AIs are combined, and if you get a subscription of that AI, you will get access to all the other AI, that is OpenAI, Gemini. And he made a video basically on his short channel, and the title of that video is how he makes SRK, one of those actors, which is again, I might be thinking he actually made, because he is also a creator, he might have made it, but no, it was a completely fake scene. with taking SRK's photos and now his photos and generating a new image. Now, when you see now those photos, people might definitely think that that image is definitely fake. This is just the starting. This image generation model, and not just Gemini but other generation models will get really good, and there will be no recognition of what is real and what is fake, and people will believe whatever they saw on the internet. Like the amount of times I have seen people not even people don't even see if that image they saw, the video they saw is real or not, and giving just fake information out is insane. That is whole of what happens on the Twitter on day-to-day basis, and that is going to happen now on regular basis when these models are going to be given to the people. Ultimately what I'm trying to say here, there needs to be kind of a restriction when it comes to these models, restriction when it comes to giving tools to people's hands, getting metadata of those generated images. So let's say if I see an image on the internet, at least there needs to be certain kind of uh, image recognition where I can see, oh, that image is totally in AI generated. Those two people are completely irrelevant. So I can just ignore it. That is what I want. At least AI generated image should be given those kind of metadata to get recognized that it is AI generated and it is completely fake scenario and it is not real. Now that, and these companies are not even recognizing it. How they are gonna do it. Like I saw how Google is just announced this stitching two completely unrelated photos and making it one, and they talked about how good it is to make two. Like I said, like they talk about always the good side of it, how making and completely good editing image, or how a broken image, like a faulty image can be like AI generated and make corrections in it. Wow, that is a really good and simple and so wholesome example, but that is not how everyone works, dude. And I hope like at least someone talk about it much more, not just me, because I'm not afraid of people using those kind of editing tools to do whatever they want to with their own images. But if someone takes my image and just makes a video of it, you know or makes a completely I was even not even a part of, like I said, I can't even prove it if I don't know it, what they are even trying to do in those. So like it's not just about, like I said, like it can further get into a lot of things like evidence-based videos. Like even nowadays videos in future will be getting a lot of fake videos, like this year how Sora has been announced totally to everyone, just that is what I'm saying. The downsides of it are like too much, and people are not recognizing. And I hope that we get something from out of this, in next couple of months, because we are already living what I feared 6 months ago. Not recognizing, like I have been victim of so many videos that are fake completely, and I have photos completely, and I'm like, wow. As a person who continuously talks about AI, and when I see a picture at a glance, I can't even recognize if it's AI or not, which is scary, from a lot of sources. I need to ask these companies, to take the accountability of these kind of actions, what they're going to do. So yeah, that is one of a hell is going to be in next 6 months, not even a year, I will say. If we don't take a complete stance regarding it and ask these companies certain difficult questions which needs to be solved by them only, because they are creating on their own problems. So yeah, let's talk about the new YouTube Studio updates. So there are a couple of updates in YouTube Studio. So if you are a creator, a lot of there are there. We'll go quick by everyone, by every update. We will not talk about too much regarding it. I will test it in coming weeks, and we will talk more depth about it in future. You know. Couple of updates. Here we go. Ask Studio. So there is a new Ask Studio AI chatbot inbuilt in your YouTube Studio, which essentially is what a chatbot AI chatbot is, but knows all your numbers. Basically, what is this video, how this video perform, and will give you overview or some whatever you ask regarding how that specific video perform, or this video, or whatever the metrics you want. It knows everything about your videos, so it is good to know that, and at a glance just asking it and getting the information and not wasting too much time. So I think I like Ask Studio. The second thing is new update to Inspiration tab. So Inspiration tab is kind of a tab, if you don't know, on YouTube Studio, where you can get, depending upon all your content, titles and this type of videos that those are working in what you kind of make videos kind of in that. And there is new kind of a couple of updates there. I will use it and we will talk later about it too. So a new Inspiration tab, AB title and thumbnail testing is there. So if you don't know, AB thumbnail testing is already there for last couple of months that I have been using too. So AB title thumbnail testing is basically multiple titles and thumbnails can be tested on a one video. You can also assign a specific title to a specific thumbnail. So basically it will test those titles and give you results which thumbnail work better, and which is for mostly for, I think I will say, creators who are doing entertainment videos, or even something like me too, from for some podcast episodes too. So title testing is given to all and everyone now. I will be testing in next couple of weeks, and you can let me know how it is going to. Now there is also a new update called collaborations. Collaborations is simple. What you, if you are on Instagram, there is a feature called collab. So both of those, creators can collab, and that video will be or remain on both of their profiles. Same thing is happening here. Add multiple channels to that same video, and that video will be recommended to every other channel that you have collaborated and added that channel, but the video will be posted on only one channel. So basically, if I have collaborated with MKBHD, hopefully, uh, I I want to, but yeah, if I collaborate with MKBHD, and I have added his channel on mine, that video will be recommended to his audience too and my audience too, but the video will be remain posted on my channel, and the revenue will be going towards my channel because I have collaborated with him. So that is how it works. But I also would like to have posted on both channels. So if I'm working with MKBHD and want that specific video to collaborate it, will be available on both channel, it should be available, and I think split revenue should be also available to both of the channels if you want to. So that's there. Auto dubbing and lip syncing is also available. So basically auto dubbing is already available to a lot of creators now, which auto dubs with the help of AI your videos. Now lip syncing will also be available, so whenever the auto dub happens, it will also lip sync your videos. So now it needs to be tested, like I say, I will be testing on this my own channel. So yeah, in next one or two episodes we will be knowing, because there are a lot of factors in it, like what will happens, because now in this episode, like on these episodes of my podcast, I'm only the one who is talking, so there is not too much to do here because I'm the only one. But if there are multiple characters in a video, multiple things like big videos like vlogging, or even what Mr. Beast does, those kind of videos. But I don't know Mr. Beast. I don't think Mr. Beast uses auto dubbing. But like I said, a creator who does vlogging or other stuff, there are multiple people how own, with the dub. That is will be we will be testing next next couple of videos. So that is there. Now one of the favorite feature I also like that YouTube did, but it can be go wrong so many ways. That is likeness detection. So basically, with the new AI, Slop is coming, and AI generated fake videos of creators that are actually they did not make, but they are there with the AI voiceover on the existing videos that are coming, which is again not good for those creators because they have actually not made it. Now, likeness detection is basically if, let's say, someone took my video and my likeness, basically my image, my likeness, and made a video on it, or does a AI generated video on mine, my face and my, you can say, and if YouTube detects, and YouTube will detect it and give me a kind of a notification that this video has used your likeness, and I can take action on it, just like what a copyright strike system is or copyright claim system is, what works on YouTube. But now also create likeness detection. So again, like I said, it is a good feature, but it can go so many wrong ways, because it will not just give me the detected videos that are been AI generated or just my face, but it will, again, people who are doing commentary videos on my channel, people who are doing reactions on my channel, let's say, will also get detected, and YouTube will give me a notification. Now, as a creator, I should not be claiming and striking those channels down, because it's a kind of a content they are making through my. So like I said, there are so many things to consider there, and now a lot of can abuse it. Let's see what happens. But again, like I said, with new features coming in, there are always some kind of downside, and we need to work on some those kind of downsides. And I hope YouTube works on it, because copyright strike system is bugged, and lot of kind of an is happening on the law copyright strike system, especially by traditional media here in India, specifically for like past 6 months that is happening. I'm seeing here, especially movie reviewers, especially what is happening to them. A lot of things have happened. Even Mohak Mangal videos, if you know him, you know his channel has gotten strike too, and basically kind of an corruption is going on those copyright strike system. So I hope it does not happen in their likeness detection too in future, which is certainly will, but I hope YouTube does something regarding that. That is it. So I think that are a couple of new updates in YouTube Studio. We will be talking much more about it in the next episodes, the way I will be using it, and giving you updates regarding how I'm using it and how are they actually useful or not. So yeah, that is it for YouTube Studio update. Now we will be talking about weekly AI news. In this week, we have a couple of updates from OpenAI, Gork, and yeah. So OpenAI has added multiple pacing in ChatGPT 5 thinking. So basically, there are couple of pacing you can select. So if you want fast answer, you can select fast. If you want deep thinking, you can select deep thinking. But yeah, that is, you can go and select on that. But the problem here is why we need to even select it. Like, is does chat, like a lot of people talked about how ChatGPT should be able to do that itself. And one of my problem is that if I'm selecting ChatGPT 5 thinking, I'm going in for deep answers. I actually need deep answers. That's why I'm going there. People, there are already customizable way that we can do it. With, if I want lightning, I will be not going to ChatGPT 5 thinking. And the logic here says is that the more time it takes in thinking, the more good answer it will give you. And I don't get the point of this update, but yeah, if you are one of those person who wanted this and wanted to use it, you can just give it and try. It will roll out in the next couple of days to you too. Now there is new updates that is happening on the personalization page. Now personalization page on ChatGPT 5 is updated, and everything is available in one place. You can go check it out if you want to personalize your own GPT there. Now, let's talk about Gork. Gork announced new fast Gork 4 fast, a new multimodal model with 2 million context windows available to all users. Basically, it's for free. You can go check it out on Gork web right now. I think because it is available to me on Gork web. So yeah, you can go check it out. We will talk about now Gemini, couple of updates there, because Gemini has been integrated in Chrome now officially. that they are talking now right now. So Gemini in Chrome, couple of new updates. There is basically multiple tabs or multiple group of tabs. Whenever you save them, you can just ask it what is happening in those tabs, or where is this tab, that tab. Basically summarization of tab. Basically whenever you group tabs and whatever you have opened multiple tabs there, you can ask it, it will be there. Kind of like a chatbot experience for your own personal browser. Basically now there is connected, it is again connected with your all Google apps, so you can right from the chatbot there in Google Chrome, you can access your calendar, YouTube, meetings. Basically in Google Calendar, Google Meet, a lot of those are on the hand. So if you are using Chrome and one of those all apps together and connected well, you can use it in one way and just ask it there only. Ask anything, couple of, so there is new ask anything on web pages. So basically whatever, if you have open, you can ask it what is happening there. Basically if you can't understand anything, you can just ask Gemini, or if it's just too confusing, if it's or something you want to get know about it, the new page, from that new web page that you open, you can just ask Gemini and it will give you answers. Ask to shop, book appointment to Gemini. Now you can ask Gemini on Chrome to book appointments or even shop for yourself on is available. Basically it will, like we talked about in the Google's IO event, that they talk about the shopping model. Now agents will be getting deployed with these new updates, and I'm just interested how it is going to work with different shops or different web stores. Basically how people are going to respond it, how web stores are going to respond it, because I think there are a lot of stuff to talk there. But yeah, if you want to use it, you can go and check it out there. I will be using it too and get to know how it works, how it is will be affecting web stores on the online too, and how it will be doing the booking stuff. First of all, a lot of stuff is there. So yeah, and yeah, in the end it is only available for US users right now and in only English. So it will be rolling out in small amount in next couple of months. I will say it will be not that fast as possible. So if you are in US and want to test it, you can test it now, but people outside the US, not right now. Just myself when it comes out, and I will give you an update if you want to check it out too. There is also a new update on Google's James update. So James are one of the personalized AI that you have created with the help of Google Gemini. Now you can share those with the people and collaborate with the people if you want. So yeah, that is it with this week's weekly AI update regarding AI. Small couple of updates, but yeah, and this is it for this week's episode podcast. We will be talking about much more what will be aftermath of and a lot of stuff regarding that is happening in AI stuff. Like I wanted to talk in the last episode too, but I am taking my time and a lot of things happen this week, so that's why this episode is late. And yeah, the new announcement. So basically I am doing live show. So basically I am doing a live episodes Monday to Friday, and first episode will be airing tomorrow. So basically I will be doing live on my other channel. I will link down in the description. So that will be a 1 hour live daily Monday to Friday, kind of in reaction, kind of in channel where I will be reacting and answering your question if you want to know. So yeah, if you are interested in live 8 p.m. IST, morning here in Indian time, but you can check your time too depending on that. So yeah, that's it for this week's episode of the TechGuy Podcast. I will be seeing you next week. Basically this week Friday and tomorrow morning if you are interested in it. So yeah,